bone determined to get that hard corner off there. You gonna do any better? Whoa, got my finger a little bit. Well, it's October the 1st. No wool shirt on. No fire in the wood stove inside there because it was so pleasant I didn't even need a fire to take the morning chill off. I did have the oven going and made up some cornbread finally. I kind of saved that for a little reserve on a chilly morning if I don't want to have a fire going in the wood stove. If I make up some cornbread in the oven, usually that's all it takes. So anyway, on the goal of goofing off as much as possible, probably about 10 a.m. and here we are still messing around with these things. I did get out my metal detector because I had that chain come apart on that big Bachtold walk-behind mower, and I thought about just going to town and try to, buy another link so I could get it on home, or I can push it home. But I thought, well, I'll take the metal detector out there, and I got a magnet too, and I'm gonna see if I can find those little parts. I know where they dropped off at. It's where the chain jammed up, and I was pulling on it, and that's when it came apart. So I know right where to look. I'm gonna go out and see if I can find it, and while we got the metal detector out, we may do a little exploring and see if we can find some other treasures. You guys want to come along? Huh? You're just going to sit here and eat. There you go. It's all gone. All right. Time to go see if we can find something. Now the detector found this little piece for me. It located the general area, then I used a magnet to pick it up because it was down in the duff. But if it found that, it should be able to find the rest of the parts of that link. No, I never did find all of that connector link. I found the two smallest pieces, but search as I might, I couldn't find the biggest part that fits through there. And it must have fallen close to the blade and got flung off in the distance someplace, because I really checked all along the trail and everything. Found a few pieces of wire. You think out in these boondocks you wouldn't come across things, but in the old days there was some horses and stuff out here, so there was some fencing. You'd think you'd be away from all that, but no. Then you get right in this area, there was an old deer hunter's shack at one time, and as soon as I got it near it with the metal detector, it's just going off all the time because there's just probably a layer of old cans and nails and everything else right down below the surface. So metal detecting up here, you'd think it'd be a simple process, but no, it's worse than ever because the junk never got a hold of the junk pile. There's no place to go with it, so it just kind of got laid outside the cabins. And it's still there. My understanding is that this used to be a privately held 40 acres, and they moved a shack in here from someplace else. And then years later, they did a land trade with the DNR for some land that was more accessible. Well, then the DNR came in, and whatever shack was here, they just burned it down, but they left everything laying just as they burned the shack. And so come across the old cook stove and the oil burner back there, and the whole ground is just littered with metal underneath. But yeah, somebody had it for a deer camp, and as they got older, they decided that it was just too far back in the boondocks, and so they did a land trade. With the metal detector set on all metal, that's what it sounds like. And if I put a little discrimination on it, that might be worth checking out. Might be an old brass shell or something. Well, let's see if we can MacGyver this thing into working. This is the roller chain. I need to get it on that right there. Got my get it started on there. Now just tap it on home. I don't have anything to hold that from slipping back out, so I went to the every man's friend, brought some duct tape back with me. See if I can put that around there. I'm hoping that it Not going to stick to that chain, but I'm hoping it sticks to itself enough. Cogs just punch a few holes through there. Duct tape being what it is, have enough integrity to keep that. That was a fencing staple, by the way, that I'd fashioned to put in there. Shaped it up in the vise, file it down a little bit to make sure it slipped in there good. Now we're ready to find out if this little operation is going to work. If I get this thing going, I'm going to head right for the cabin with it and see how far I get. Well, I didn't get anywhere at all. Well, I think what happened is that staple I talked about, I think I filed it down too much in the shaping and it actually broke the staple. It didn't come out, it just broke. So I got a few other pieces I wanted to try. Maybe they'll last a little better. I have to see how strong this is, or maybe I really got to baby it. I'm not sure. This was a clothespin that I cut apart, slipped through there, bent the ends in. Maybe if I assist it along, we can get somewhere with it. Plan B didn't work either. That piece of metal just stretched right out too. So I got a few other ideas before I retire the MacGyver concept. Over 2 days of probable light rain, well, they've just about elapsed. I don't think we're going to get a drop. So on my walks now, I'm going to start going by the spring and pick up a few gallons whenever I go by. I think I can put 3 in here anyway, maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. I could probably put a 4th, but I'll be up there again. Also, while I'm up that way, I'll be going by my laid up mower out there with the chain. And I've messed around out at the workshop out there and I've tried to fashion my own connecting link. So see if we can put it together enough to make it limp on home. Nice to have that beast back in the shed without having to drag it by hand all that way. My MacGyver idea of the staple, fence staple, shaped to the right, filed down with the proper dimensions, ended up being the right way to go. Unfortunately, I had the little side plate of that link apparatus, and I was able to put that on the back side of that staple once I pushed it through the chain. Put 1 layer of duct tape up just to kind of keep things together. So I might be able to go out and mow tomorrow with it. No.